banks. You can't handle the truth. Yeah, baby.
It's alive, it's alive, it's alive.
Get ready for the ultimate radio finance show of all times. Live from the Siesta Key studio in beautiful Sarasota, Florida, it's How to Beat the Banks, hosted by local mortgage expert Joe Miller. Brought to you live on 1490 WWPR-AM or streaming live on Live Nation.
Joe Miller. Hey, how you doing there? This is Joe Miller. First ever premiered. Sorry about the mess ups. This is my first show. I just got to throw that out there. First premiered of How to Beat the Banks here live in the Siesta Key studio in beautiful Sarasota, even though we are dealing with this crazy heat wave right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got sweat going in places I can't even explain, but it's things are just going, things are rolling here. You know, here we are, How to Beat the Banks. The purpose of this show, let me give you a little bit about my background real quick. My name's Joe Miller, local. I'm a local licensed mortgage advisor. So basically that means I'm licensed in the state of Florida and an expert on anything dealing with home finance or commercial lending. Been doing this for over 10 years. Like to think I know something, so I'm just here to help however I can. Coach, mentor, answer any questions, or even if you just want to, call in and complain about somebody, I'm good for that too. But just glad to be here. First ever premiered show. Just wanted to kind of talk. The purpose of the show really is it's here for you. It's here to know more about the finance industry, how to overcome these high rates that we're dealing with and crazy closing costs, how to take it back to the banks and understand what's going on, where to find good investment properties, how to get better rates, how to find the resources that you need for down payment assistance. We cover everything on the show. Everything's exposed and fully, out there, and that's kind of what we go over. We're going to be talking to a lot of experts here locally to go over all the different realms of the financial and mortgage and real estate industry. We're going to be talking to I'm a little nervous, as you can tell. It is my first show, so I'm going to keep throwing out there. Every time I mess up, I get a first show like mulligan for at least 5 weeks. All right? So just bear with me. And plus, we were in a heat stroke. I mean, we're kind of like having a heat wave right now. My plants look a little bit flustered, as do I. So, just, give me a little shot. It'll take me a couple shows to get my feet wet, but we'll be all right. Just bear with me. But right now, I just kind of wanted to go over, what we have coming up on the show. This show, it's going to be every Saturday at 10 a.m. It's How to Beat the Banks here on 1490 WWPR. And we're going to be talking, the topic of this show is basically, why do we need real estate agents? Everybody's always like, I could just list my house on Google or Zillow or put it on Trulia or something like that. Or I'll put an MLS. I'll just do it myself, So the purpose of this show is to explain, what is the value that realtors provide is today's topic. What are they going to do for you? How are they going to, get you a better return on your investment when you go to sell your home or when you're looking for the right investment property? But coming up, I just want to go over what's coming up in future weeks. On August 12th. All right, so now we're going to go to the next. On August 12th, we got we got a really awesome local expert. His name is Kelly Barnett with Remax Alliance Group. We're going to be going over first-time homebuyers and everything that goes with that, whether it's credit repair, down payment assistance. How do I get my credit in the right position to buy, or should I buy? So we're going to be digging into the details on that on August 12th with Kelly Barnett from Remax Alliance. Then on deck, August 19th, we're going to have Bradley Owen on here, local appraisal expert, been an appraiser for 25 years. He's going to be talking about the values of properties and the current climate we're in, kind of going over what can build the value of your property and, how the properties are going and where we're going on, in the Southwest Florida area. But here coming up, I just wanted to, we got the real estate news. I got my guy on here. He's, I don't know where I found this guy, but right now we got real estate news coming up. So I just want to kind of pause for that and see, he's coming in here right now.
Real estate report?
So we got We got him coming in right now.
All right.
Oh, here he is. All right.
Now we're going to go to the next segment. It's our first ever How to Beat the Banks local real estate report. But it's, I'm not really quite sure where I hired this guy from. He's been around the real estate business for a long time. He's been doing it. He knows a lot about everything involving local real estate. So I thought he might be the perfect candidate to kind of hit us off on our first show. I want to welcome to the show right now one of our co-hosts, Marty Swanson. Hey, Joseph, how you doing? Hey, Marty, how are you, buddy? Marty Swanson here with us today for the local real estate report. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good there, man. I just thank you for having me. It's been very hot outside.
Oh, you're telling me, man. It's we got a heat wave going on, don't we?
Oh, it's so hot out there, Joseph. You wouldn't believe it. I don't even go outside at this point. It's blistering out there. I literally have blisters all over my hands, and it's just dreadful out there. Totally dreadful, Joe. Well, Marty, what do you got for us today? I'm not, hopefully you got some good news for us. I know that the real estate's been a little bit wonky lately, but I'm hoping to hear something good from you this week. First of all, I just want to talk about commercial properties. I know it's not necessarily the most popular thing, but, it's still relevant. Commercial is a very big part of the Southwest Florida's overall market share. So I want to dive into that. Right now, commercial's not doing too well, Joe. It's really taking a beating right now. It's the average commercial property stayed on the market for about 3 to 4 months, it looks like. They're also reducing in value on the commercial, and commercial leasing is down by double of what it was 2 years ago. So commercial is just really taking a brutal beating. It's worse than my bunions on my feet. It's horrible right now, the commercial industry here in Southwest Florida. If you're wanting to buy commercial, I don't know if I'd recommend it, because I don't know if you'll be able to find any tenants. Secondly, as always, I gotta take a look at Mr. Popular, the single-family regular homes between $350,000 to $650,000. These homes are the most common, the most popular price point in Southwest Florida, between $350,000 and $650,000. These homes are seeing reductions that they have not seen in the past 14 months, Joseph. It's crazy right now. I mean, they're not doing horrible or anything, but there's a lot of them are reducing in value. If you look on some of the popular real estate sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, you'll see that a lot more price reductions are more common, way more common than they were this time last year. The average house is actually about $30,000 less than initial listing price, between $350,000 and $650,000. So that means basically, if I sell my grandmother's house for $650,000, the odds I'm probably only going to get about $620,000 to $610,000 for it. Whereas this time last year, I was getting $30,000 over it. It's crazy. The last thing I really want to talk about is the luxury homes. A year and a half ago, they were going like crazy. Even $2 million. People were doing cash offers at $2 million to $3 million. Now you're not seeing it so much. Those luxury homes are starting to sit on an average for about 60 to 75 days, where they were selling in only 30 days a year and a half ago. So they're starting to sit a lot longer, and they're starting to go down in value a little bit. Not substantially like the rest of the nation, but a little bit. And I think that's just because of, obviously, the high mortgage rates. They're crazy right now, higher than the socks on my knees. The rates are just so insane. I think that's causing a lot of the luxury buyers that come here from the West Coast and up north in the New England area, I think that's causing them to not buy as much and not put the money into the luxury homes like they were. But overall, luxury homes are still doing pretty good. They just they're sitting there and saturating and sitting a little bit longer than they used to. So, you might be able to get you a better deal on the beach condo on Longboat Key, or even Siesta, or even up in Clearwater. You might be able to get you a little luxury home for a little bit less than you used to. I'm Marty Swanson. That's your local Southwest Weekly Real Estate Report. Thank you so much, Joseph, for having me on here. I really appreciate it. It gets me out, gets me going a little bit. Much different than my normal daily activity, so thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome, Marty. I'm glad you could be a part of it. I'm not sure really, do you know how you really got this job? Because I don't remember hiring you. Well, I answered one of the ads on I think it was on Craig's Next Door. That's where it was, Next Door. Well, just thanks for being here. I hope you have a great weekend, buddy.
Thanks, Marty, for coming in. We appreciate it. I you get these people, and you're like, I think they'll do a good job, but you really don't know until you bring them in. And unfortunately, in radio, your interview is kind of being on the radio, so you either pass or fail right then on the air. So we got Marty. He's doing the real estate. He's going to be hooking us up every week with the real estate news, what's going on here in Southwest Florida area. He's a little unorthodox, but his data is still good. You just have to hear him out. So today's topic again is why it's good to have a real estate agent in your corner, a licensed real estate professional, especially when you're buying a property here in Southwest Florida, whether it's investment property or primary residence. It's just good to have a real estate agent in your corner. And actually, I got Phil in here with me. He wanted to talk about, he's had a recent experience, a positive experience with a realtor, and I wanted to have him personally share, what was his experience like when he worked with his realtor. He just told me he's went through 5 mortgages, so he has been through it. If there's anyone that can attest to using a realtor and why they're important, it's definitely Phil. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, one of my best friends is he was actually my best man, my wedding. Mike McNally, God's gift to the real estate industry in Massachusetts.
Sounds like a
little
realtor.
plug from Mike. And I've known Mike for over 50 years, and he's great. He handled all of the sales of the homes that I purchased with my wife, and he's one of these guys that just is what you see is what you get. This is the house. Doesn't try to pump it up, and we got great prices for our homes. And when I went to buy homes, he would, believe it or not, he was actually by accident down here when I bought my place down in Palo, up in Palmasola. And he was just down here by accident, and he ran in, took a look at the house that I was going to buy, and said, Phil, thumbs up, go for it. And now I want to kill him. It was my first money pit, but my wife and I, we flipped a bunch of houses, and we did it the hard way, in terms of making our money. Now,
that's when you got to blame the inspector.
I got to blame. I'm blaming him. Mike's got at least one I could throw at him.
Whenever you buy a money pit, you got to blame everybody.
Right, except yourself.
Wherever it'll stick.
Right.
It's like it's an inspector, it's the appraiser, it always trickles down to the loan officer. Unfortunately, it's like everything's our fault.
Realtors are very, very important to the process, and if you find one that you can trust, you need to stay with them. And if you can, I've changed states, so obviously he can't help me down here. He's still up in Massachusetts. The failed state of Massachusetts.
What was his name again?
Mike McNally.
Man, right. We need to find you a McNally here.
We do.
If there's anybody that has a similar, person that they know that sounds like they might be similar to Mike McNally, give us a call here in the station. We'd love to hear from you so you could help out Phil with his next purchase transaction. It's 941.
Which is coming soon.
Call us right now and give us a heads up. It's 941-745-1490. That's 941-745-1490. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you, whether it's to help Phil or just help us in general.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm looking over in the northwest Bradenton area over by DeSoto National Park. So that's where my wife and I want to land. We want to land over there.
Well, pretty much anywhere, I think anything in this area is definitely palatable.
No. That's it. That we've.
He's got one zip code, and
north,
that's it. One zip code.
34209, and north of the Causeway and west of 75. West of 9th Street, 9th and 75.
So everybody hear that. He's got one zip code, one area. Well, kind of, what is that, 2 zip codes maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah. So what are you looking for, a 4-bedroom or a 3-bedroom?
3. We'll take a 2-2, but we want them to be nice. That not move-in ready. We don't have to do anything. We've done it all before. You name it, I've done it.
What do you mean by nice? Everybody's definition of that's different.
Well, it's clean. It's move-in ready. It's broom swept clean, as we say in New England. And you know, we went to see a train wreck yesterday, and I mean,
I got to hear about this.
The Texture 111 inside the house, and it was warped because they had water damage, and they had a fireplace that was kind of attached to the house so that put the roof at risk, and everything about the place, it needed a sledgehammer.
I love the real estate ads about houses like that too, because they always use like really like descriptive words.
Yeah.
It's like quaint.
Quaint.
You know, it's a quaint property and a very great, and it's in a great location, but they don't talk much about the house. And there's usually very limited photos for a good reason. And then you get there with this impression, and you walk in, and it's like, meow.
No. It was when my wife turns around and says, "No way, let's go." It's no way.
So your wife says that, but then I'm like, there's a lot of potential here. Maybe there's some.
That's the only thing that had going for it. And for $500,000, I'm not buying potential.
How many square feet is it?
It wasn't 2,000.
Oh my God! Yeah.
It was like 19 and change, and everything had to go, from the appliances to everything, from the garage. It was like basically get out the chainsaw and the sawzall and get to work.
That must be like, that realtor must have the seller, a nightmare seller that they just can't wear. It's like, how do you go to your seller and be like, hey, we basically need to replace everything in the house to list it?
Right. I mean, the roof has to go, and everything under the roof has to go.
So you're basically buying a lot with a concrete slab.
Essentially. Right.
Oh, okay.
With
for $500,000.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
it's in a great neighborhood. It's over on 9th Street. You guys want to take a look, you can have at it. It's it's east of 75th Street, though, so not for us. So Warner's Bayou, I'd love to buy a home in Warner's Bayou. That would be nice.
Well, I wanted to talk about, too, you need to stay tuned, because coming up in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be giving out some Buccaneers tickets. That's right. You know, the Bucs season is starting up. I don't know who in here is a football fan. I mean, you know, I know there's a lot of hockey fans, but we still have some football fans, too. Coming up, we're going to be giving a giveaway, 14th row, 40-yard line, and it's not in the visitor section, I promise. 40-yard line, 14th row. Also, VIP parking. Stay tuned in for future weeks to win that. If you want to enter to win, just go to our Facebook page, How to Beat the Banks, and just like the page, and you're automatically signed up to win. The drawing will be in November for this. And the game is actually on New Year's Eve, so it'll be an awesome time to go to a game. Everybody's going to be wanting to have a good time, so stay tuned in. So right now, I'm inviting Melissa in. Melissa's coming in right now. I wanted to talk to her. I got a local real estate expert. She's coming in. Hey, how are you doing?
All right, so today's topic is, are realtors really needed when you're doing a real estate transaction locally? Is it good to have a realtor? So to talk about this, I have our local real estate expert from Showtime Realty, Melissa Godio. All right, so today's topic is, are realtors really needed when you're doing a real estate transaction locally? Is it good to have a realtor? So to talk about this, I have our local real estate expert from Showtime Realty, Melissa Godio, in the studio for our first premiered featured guest speaker.
Hi, Joe. I'm doing real good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Super excited to be here Saturday around 10 or 10:30 a.m. Just letting me run my mouth on here. So I just wanted to today's topic, as you know, is we're kind of talking about why is it important for people to use realtors, especially licensed realtors, through a real estate transaction here in the area. You know, like, what is the most important thing? So I wanted to bring you on to kind of shed some light on that, because you know, to us, you know, we're not licensed. We're not 100% sure. We can guess. We can look up Google, but you'd probably be a better person to ask. So first of all, I just want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into real estate? You know, how long you been doing this crazy thing, that kind of thing.
Sure. I'm Melissa Godio. I am originally from Long Island, New York. From there, I lived in Boston for about 4 years.
New Yorker, huh? Gotcha.
Yeah. The accent's still there, here and there, but for the most part, I got it under control.
Well, you know, you're in your second home here, right? Like, this is this is kind of like the redneck New York. They say like Sarasota's like everyone down here is from New England. So
yeah, I do. I find a lot of my clients are from that area, so it makes it nice. You know, we have something in common right off the bat, so it is very nice. And while I was in Boston, that was actually the first time I thought about real estate, and I went and I took the test. And then I never took the leap to join a brokerage. I was doing something else at the time. And then I moved to Sarasota. I moved here in 2012. I left in 2017. I did a quick stint. I lived in Ecuador for a little bit, and then I came back to Sarasota. Yeah.
Well, you've been a little bit of everywhere. So let me ask you this: so when you moved down here to do real estate, did you have to take the real estate test again, or did they just take the same one that you did up in Boston, or how does that work?
No, I had to enroll in a school that was accredited in Florida, and then I had to retake the test as well. They did not. It was not states that recognized the other's license. So I did have to retake.
Which one would you say is harder, the one here in Florida or New York?
Honestly, I think Florida's might have been a little tougher. So many laws have so many more laws have been implemented since I took it the first time. So there's just more to learn in the back end of real estate, in the legal side, I would say.
So you're talking about like all the different crazy environmental things that involve Florida, like, you know, the tropical storms and the easements and all those different things maybe make it a little more challenging.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and there have been things implemented also when we're dealing with clients in terms of discrimination and things like that. They've really buckled down on it. So there's just been some new policies implemented that, you know, we just need to make sure that we're being fair and following the rules for everybody. Everybody deserves to be treated fairly.
That makes perfect sense. I'm all about fairness most of the time. So what took you to Ecuador? Like, what brought you there?
No, I did not lose a bet. You would have thought I did, the way it all kind of went down. But no, I didn't. I was just in a place in my life where I had the capabilities to do it, and I just said, let's go. And I sold my house, sold everything I owned, grabbed my dog, hopped on a plane, and drove around Ecuador. Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, it was really cool. I wasn't completely by myself. I was with a really good friend of mine. So we had a great experience. You know, we didn't know where we were going, where we were staying. We just kind of said, where we end up, we end up.
That sounds like an amazing. That sounds like an amazing amount of freedom. I would love to do that, but I got 2 kids, so unfortunately, I'm pretty much land struck at least for another 4 years until they go to until they get out of. Hopefully, they get out of the house when they're 18. I don't know if they will, but that's my wife and I's hope. So you've been doing real estate a long. It sounds like you've been doing it a long time. What do you specialize in? What with real estate? Are you do you do commercial? Are you a buyer? Are you a seller agent? Or do you do are you doing manufactured homes? What's kind of your niche?
I have done commercial. Commercial is a fun and interesting game as well. My niche is more investment clients and listings. So that's kind of where my focus is. When we had this influx of people coming from the north, a lot of them were investors. They wanted to take advantage of what was happening in the market here in Florida. And so I really got to understand what's important for investors, why the numbers are important, how to run those numbers, and just be that person, the boots on the ground, if you will, for that person, because they're usually not here. So it's just focusing on what exactly they are looking for, what is going to make them the most money possible that we can get, as that is their goal as an investor. And just making sure that we're finding sound properties.
So your biggest thing, do you work with a lot of flippers or people that do rental properties, or kind of a mixture?
I work with people who do more of rental properties. I also do property management through my brokerage.
Oh, wow.
We have a property management section. It's wonderful. It's going strong. It's growing every single year.
That's amazing.
So yeah. So we have a little mixture of annuals and short-term rentals, but short-term rentals are the majority. So we manage those as well for people.
So you're saying basically your job, you'll go to somebody that has some rental property and you're like, hey, you don't want to get up at 1 a.m. on a Sunday and go repair a toilet. Let us do that for you. Is that basically what your all's company does, is kind of manage the property?
That's right. So we not only manage the property in terms of things that can go wrong during stays, but we are guest stay managers. So we are marketing your property. We are vetting the guests that are coming. We are taking care of everything from A to Z, including collecting of income and dispersing that as well to the landlords. We cover it all.
You're vetting them. You're making sure, hey, the person that's going to take this property and lease it from you, they're going to hopefully, with all your vetting process, they're going to pay their rent and they're going to be a good tenant. Is what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yes. That is one of the most important parts of my job when it comes to property management. Absolutely. I have a responsibility.
I think that's really. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I have a responsibility not only to make sure that my client is making money on their property, but that their property is taken care of. That's my responsibility.
That's amazing. So you're basically, not only do you help them find great sound investments for rental property, but you're also taking the second level step and you're managing it, you're vetting the clients, you're doing the bookkeeping, you're kind of doing it all. So you're helping them take care of their investments. It's almost like a real estate financial advisor in a way, is what it sounds like.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. It's fun. It really is. I truly enjoy the property management side of what I do. I really do. I meet a lot of people, a lot of great people. It's lovely.
And this is offered through your brokerage with Showtime Realty. Is that right, here in Sarasota?
Yep, that's right. Showtime Realty. Yes, Anna Lee Williams is our broker.
And where's your office located, just so everybody knows?
We are right smack in the middle of Gulf Gate in Sarasota.
What an awesome location. So basically, if you want to go and get a drink and get something to eat, then you can walk over to their office because they're right there where everything is at. I love that.
That's absolutely right.
So we're talking about, realtors, people. There's a lot of controversy. Do we need them? Should we just put our on Zillow ourselves and sell it? Is it easier? Are we going to lose money? Are we going to make more money not having a realtor? So that's why I got you on here. So what I wanted to ask you is, what do you think are the most important attributes that a person should look for in a real estate agent?
Great question. People have this idea that all real estate agents are kind of the same. They find a house, they get it for you, and everybody moves on. But not all real estate agents are the same. Some of us work on teams, some of us work independently, and both of these have their advantages. It's most important to choose someone who's listening to you. What are the areas that are important to you on this journey? Because this is a journey. This is a serious journey, but it should also be fun. And you want an agent. Yeah, you want an agent who first understands the market, because that's huge. But second, you want a realtor who understands you. If they understand the market and their clients, they can't miss.
I think that's amazing news, because it's basically you have an advocate in your corner. It sounds like to represent you. It's almost like a defense attorney. They're there for your best interest, trying to make sure that you're getting your negotiations go well. So you're looking for somebody that sounds like somebody has a lot of integrity, that knows the market really well, and it also makes it fun and keeps track of everything for you, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, my job is to get this done for my client, but at the same time, it is also my job to make sure that things are going smoothly and in the time frame that they're supposed to. So we're on top of everything. We're on top of the lenders. I'm on top of the title companies. Every step of the way, I'm there making sure it's getting done so that you can focus and prioritize on the things that you need to do when you do get into your new home or when your home does sell.
So you're kind of like the Tom Brady of the transaction.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if
Yes.
you want to use Tom Brady. I mean, if we want to use, Peyton Manning or, whoever your quarterback is, basically what I'm hearing Melissa say is that, a good realtor, the attributes to look for is a leader, someone that's going to, manage and, be the main point during your transaction, making sure that everything goes smoothly for you. And so the next question I got for you, it kind of goes in with the last question is, there's buyers and sellers. Why is it important for both buyers and sellers to use a realtor during your transaction? Like, what do you offer both parties?
Well, I think the number one reason is what you don't know in real estate can absolutely hurt you. Absolutely. An agent's knowledge is priceless. I know what the internet is not telling you. The internet is amazing, and you can go on there and you can find any house that anyone is looking for in any location. That's the easy part. But how do you get that house at the best price in the time frame that you want, and so that everybody's happy? That's where we come in.
Especially around here, yeah.
Seller's time is... Go ahead,
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Seller's time is also very valuable. Do they have time to show the home at a moment's notice? These are opportunities that must be taken advantage of. You never know who's coming to see your home. Do they do follow-up? Follow-up is enormous. It's a small task, but it needs to be done. Follow-up and feedback are essential tasks in order to get your property sold.
Yeah. What I've always noticed is it's always the small things that are the most important during this stuff. It's like, those are always the things that seem to get missed. It's like, oh, we're going to show our house. Is the landscaping done? Is everything functioning so that way when you walk in the door, the clocks aren't dead and the furnace kicks on, just little things, but they're big deals because you definitely don't want to show your home to somebody and a component of it isn't working because right off the bat they're thinking, oh, well, what else isn't working?
That's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. Presentation, image is everything when it comes to real estate. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. You just don't. And it's important that it's done right.
That's always my problem. It's like I've always heard that people make the first impression like in the first 5 seconds. Well, typically I usually obliterate that. So my first impression with people is always like horrible. They're always like, who is this crazy guy? But then I try to get them back on the flip side. I'm like, oh, maybe they'll like me later.
I did not have that impression when I first met you at all.
Oh, you're just saying that. Well, anyways, so here's another thing I run into a lot. Mike Reynolds, who emailed us in just a second ago, asked, he sees a lot of it's popping up. Are realtors allowed to show clients homes for sale by owner?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. If you have an interest in buyer, you can absolutely make an appointment to show the property. I will be honest, sometimes it's hard to sell the property. With for sale by owners, sometimes we don't get responsive. I can think of one time I had an investor who wanted to see a for sale by owner, and it took me a few phone calls to get them on the phone. And then when I did, it was hard to convince her that I actually had a buyer. She was getting so many conversion calls from real estate agents that it put her on the defense.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a shame because this is something else that we see also. For sale by owners tend to go on the defense, and let's be honest, when you're selling your own home, it's emotional. And when you have an agent representing you, we understand how emotional it is for you, but there's a big difference when you're not the one doing the negotiating. It takes that out of it for you.
It's looking at like just the raw data and the logic and the business decision part of it instead of, I'll miss where I raised my dog or I'll miss where my kid took their first steps. You're looking at the whole picture, to get the maximum, to help the client negotiate and things like that. So you're what you're saying is you're making it more of a business transaction, which ultimately nets a better return for the client, whether it's the seller or the buyer, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Emotions run high during property negotiations, especially for buyers and sellers that are directly dealing with each other. And I come in and I act as an objective intermediary, keeping emotions in check, focusing on the business aspects of the transaction and getting it done.
That's amazing. That's really important because I think a lot of people miss that. You know, they're thinking, oh, you know, I'll throw my house up on MLS.com or Zillow, and it's a great house, everybody. But they don't look at it from a realtor's kind of like I said a minute ago, an attorney. They're able to look at it from the outside on what the seller or the buyer is going to look at and think of it from their point of view, not a personal point of view. So, well, Melissa, I wanted to ask you too. So when working with a realtor, would you say and you may not want to answer this, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say to find someone that does it full time, or is it okay to just roll the dice and take someone that maybe work with someone that does it part time? Like maybe maybe they're an insurance person during the day, but then on their part time they do real estate. Would you say it's better to do a full time or is part time okay?
Both full-time and part-time realtors can be competent and offer valuable services. With full-time realtors, you will generally find that they have more flexible schedules. They might be able to show you properties quicker, more on your time frame. A full-time realtor may have more experience due to their involvement with transactions more repeatedly than someone who's doing it part-time. They also are going to have a larger network of contacts and vendors and things like that. But whether you choose a full-time or a part-time realtor, you want a realtor with a proven track record. There are part-time realtors who are very competent and they have a very proven track record and they've been doing this for years and years. But maybe life is taking them somewhere else part of the time, and that's okay. You just want to make sure that your realtor is well versed in the area that you're interested in and that they're good indicators. And many buyers and many list agents, they are flexible themselves. So I think you could go either way. I think there are benefits to both.
You just want somebody who's going to be available at the pivotal times and is there to lean on when you need it, whether they're part time or full time, right?
That's right. And that is different for everybody. So yeah, absolutely.
Now, do you got any advice? Okay, so there's a lot of shady, I'd like to say shady characters out there that are, you know, they might do one deal a year as a realtor or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're going to know this or not, but is there like a way that maybe, or a resource that clients can use to kind of weed out some of those realtors that may not be a good fit for them? Is there like maybe a process they could have or a checklist? Or what are some tips that you have?
Oh, for sure. I mean, right off the top of my head, start Googling. Everybody loves Google reviews, Zillow reviews.
Oh, Google. Good old Google.
Just Google it. Zillow is also good. People put reviews on there as well. You want to look for, keywords. You want to pay attention to whether they're positive or negative in a review. You can verify that they are licensed. That is very important. You can do that on myfloridalicense.com, I believe. And that's
so
just
myfloridalicense.com, where you could probably go to Google and just type in, check out, licensing in Florida for realtors or something.
Yeah. That's where you would go and you can put their name in and it'll tell you whether or not they're licensed.
The biggest thing is you do want to make sure they're licensed. That's the bare minimum, right?
Absolutely. You do not want to be even if they tell you, oh, my license is coming. Come back to me when you are official and with a brokerage, for sure. Another great way to find out if you and this realtor are going to work well together is ask for references. Speak to their past clients. People
that's
work
a good
with
idea.
who they know. Yeah, people work with who they know, they like, and they trust. And when you have repeat clients, that's a really positive thing as well.
So if you call and they're like, yeah, have you ever worked with Harry Barnes before? And they're like, oh, that guy was a nightmare. He never showed up. That'd be probably a no-go, right?
Keep it moving. You want someone who shows
I hear you. All right. Well, what I wanted. So let me ask you this: what would you say? You know, there's lots of realtors people could choose from online. Like you're saying, they could go to Google and they could find. But you know, what differentiates the way that your business runs and operates versus what a typical realtor is? What are some things that you do that you're doing differently and that you offer?
things that I'm doing differently and things that I offer. I think the biggest thing I offer is communication. I think it's really
that's good.
Yeah, I think it's really important to stay in communication with my clients, regardless of whether I'm on the list side or the buy side. Especially when it comes to listings, because sometimes it'll go a week or 2 weeks, and there's not a whole lot of movement going on, but your sellers don't know that, and they need to be spoken with. So even if you just have a little bit of feedback from some of the showings and things like that, it's important to continuously keep contact. When I have a client, my goal is to get this transaction done for you, but that's not where it ends. I'm working real estate relationship here. I'm going to be your realtor for life. And it's important that I communicate well with you so that we can have a relationship that goes on for years. Absolutely.
That's amazing to hear, and that's one reason why I wanted to have you on here, because one, your experience, but just the way that you guys run things. Everything I hear and read about you, that it's just always a great experience. You're always able to negotiate and get a problem solved. You're always there for the client. But that's all the time we have with Melissa today. I'm so grateful and appreciative that you're on our show, especially our first feature, How to Beat the Bank show. And that's Melissa Godio with Showtime Realty. If you want to get a hold of Melissa, just call her at 516-800-6536. That's 516-800-6536. Hey, Melissa, thank you so much for being on here with us today, and we look forward to having you in the future. I know we're going to be doing a segment on investment properties, and we'd love to have you on that as well.
Oh, I would love to be there, Joe. Thank you so much for having me. This was wonderful.
Just wanted to thank Melissa once again. Had some technical issues on the Live Nation link, but that's all right. I am a mortgage expert. I'm not an IT person. We're going to get those bugs worked out for the next show. You're tuned into 1490 WWPRAM, and it's How to Beat the Bank's first ever premiere show here live in the Siesta Key studios in beautiful Sarasota. And I got my buddy Phil and I got Chris in here. We're all just hanging out today, having some fun on a beautiful Saturday. We never know when the rain's going to kick in, though, do we, guys?
Let it rain, baby. Let it rain. I don't have to water my tomatoes.
You got tomatoes? How big are they?
Actually, I just they're tiny. I only grow the little grape tomatoes.
Oh, petito.
Yeah, because I don't like the big ones. The bugs get them before I get them.
I got to give one more plug to Melissa, just in case y'all didn't catch her number. She's with Showtime Realty. Phenomenal person, just outstanding, has a ton of experience and knowledge. It's Melissa Godio. You can contact her at 516-800-6536. That's 516-800-6536. Just a great human being, always there to help you. Really works with investors quite a bit. So if you're needing, if you're looking for a property to rent or you need property management, please feel free to reach out to her. But, this week, guys, I'm starting, I got to tell you guys, I'm actually starting my workout. And I've been saying this for about 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to start on Monday, and it always does.
It always starts on Monday.
It always starts. And what happens is I put my gym clothes on, I go to work, and I actually wear the gym clothes because I'm like, if I wear them, then I will go.
I was wondering why you wore those to work.
I had good intentions. But you know how intentions are.
Yeah.
They don't always go through. But so what I've been doing, luckily my HOA, how we have the HOA mafia here in the Southwest Florida area.
Yes, we do.
So my HOA has a wonderful gym, which I pay a hefty HOA fee for, but I do not use the fruits of that at all. But I do go by and I look at the equipment, which is odd. I'm like, I'll go in there, I'll look at it, I'll be like, this is nice stuff.
Well, you can tell that I'm just, God's gift to the fitness industry. So the reason I'm in such great shape is I watch a lot of YouTube fitness videos.
Oh, how's that working?
Look, I'm gorgeous.
If
right?
anybody
Arnold,
knows,
watch out.
If anybody knows, if anybody knows of a way to burn calories just by watching the YouTube fitness channel, please contact us here at 941-745-1490. We would love some, the easiest way to possibly lose weight. Call us because
YouTube fitness while you're eating ice cream out of the box. Do not get it into the bowl. Just right out of the box.
Nothing that's good is easy, and nothing that's easy is good.
Woo!
Why can't anything be
Praise
just
the
be
Lord.
easy? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It is like one time in my life, can it just be easy? No. And it's always that initial.
No.
It's that initial.
It comes
hump.
with effort. Yeah.
And that's what's hard to work out because you're dreading that first 60 days because you're going to be in pain.
You don't have to be. I mean, you can actually get in really good shape if you like I was
Are you talking about taking medication?
No, I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. Played a little college ball, and
I was an athlete in high school too.
Stayed fit all of my life, and ride horses, had a barn, had a little farm and everything, and I heated my home with my own wood. I chopped down the trees, everything, and
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, when you try to
get
back,
your home out of trees?
No, we burned it. We had a wood burning stove, and I heated my home for
heated
12
it.
years.
When were you born? Like
1842? No, born in South Boston, baby, in the projects. And so I wanted to have a farm.
That's why he's always at least 12 feet away from me because you just never know when he's going to get that switchblade or something.
So if you go back to lifting weights,
comes Phil.
And you do it really light weights. And you're starting up, and this is what Arnold will tell you. This is what Sylvester Stallone will tell you. You just start out light, and you lift till you fail.
I tried that.
Lift to failure, and just stay light, and and then you can start going heavy and getting heavier and heavier.
You're talking about like interval training, like
yes.
You don't put any weights on there. You just hold the bar, or in my case, just the broomstick or something,
broomstick,
and then you move up to a bar.
But you can get in shape without a lot of pain, and you just got to manage it well. Just slide into it. Don't.
Here's what I wish they could do. If there was a way that you could somehow like put some kind of in vitro, IV in me while I work out. I'm not saying I want steroids or anything, but just something to kind of, like when you have a car and you have the, what is that, nitrous oxide in the car and you hit a button and it goes faster for a minute.
Yeah.
I need that when I work. I need that when I work out, but I don't want to go faster. I just want to exist while I work out. Because usually what happens is I get on the treadmill for 10 minutes. I go over the elliptical. I'm okay. I'm watching my Fox News or watching whatever or listening to my podcast. But then it gets to the weightlifting part, and I'm like, my legs are dead. My arms are just totally gone. What am I going to do? And then it's just that, like, the first 30 to 60 days, if I could fast forward to getting past that, I would work out.
Do you track everything you do?
Did you hear what I said? I go and I look at the gym, much less track anything.
No, you need to.
I was just thinking a lot of this conversation.
You got to be disciplined.
It could be tied to real estate. There's the easy, softer way, and you end up with Phil's last house, or there's the
that's
the more
my problem.
meticulous, very businesslike. A good realtor is going to come in there and they're going to make, all the right decisions. They're going to take good pictures. They're going to list your house for the right price. They're going to do all these different things.
Well, Melissa was talking about earlier about making a great first impression, and that's why I kind of went back at her and I said, well, I usually make a good second or third, but the first one, if I was a little more in shape, the first might be a little bit better. At least.
Houses are, you get into, and when you start going down the road to buy a house, I wanted to buy a house when I was living in Oregon. I had no money and everything, and the market was collapsing. In the 1970s, Jimmy Carter days. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Banks were coming and taking your house.
I remember them from school. I'm not that old.
I actually lived in a foreclosed house for a year.
Is that what
lived
for
like
free? 18%?
Yes. And I was afraid that's where we were going with this president. And you know what they say? In crisis, there is opportunity. So there isn't a real estate market that there isn't somebody making money. And if you don't somewhere. And if you stay engaged and you find the right partners, you can make some money in just about any real estate market. I honestly believe that.
I agree. I've always been of the sort when I do anything, I try to get the very best people around me.
Right.
I don't scrimp on attorneys, you don't scrimp on realtors, and you don't scrimp on mortgage guys, because
Right.
they're going to save you so much money in the long run.
I totally
and
agree
headache
with that.
and aggravation. We won't
yeah.
get into my current issue with my HOA.
Well,
Right. The HOAs are a little bit mafioso types, but we have to deal with one that we have,
so you
which
wanna
isn't
move
that
on.
bad. We actually have a couple of good people on our HOA, but we have some people that
He's just saying that.
I don't have brakes in my car if they walk out in front of me.
Are they listening, Phil?
So I really do believe that real estate is one of these, for the working people, the middle class people. It is your way to economic freedom if you really work hard at it and you stick with the right people.
Well, it's definitely real estate in general. We're gonna as we go through each week, we're gonna dive more deep. But the purpose of this show is really just to kind of give a synopsis of what the show's about, and it's about every facet of real estate, whether it's finance, whether it's if you're an investor, first time buyer, buying your next home, downgrading. It's to make sure that the banks don't take advantage of you. So that way, when you get your disclosures and you're doing the loan, your numbers are the same on the front end as they are on the back end, and you know what the numbers actually mean. They're not just like Chinese algebra.
It's not like a student loan.
It's a good idea. A good realtor will help you keep from making bad decisions with a mortgage or with a real estate. They have the resources to help you to know if you're getting a good deal. Sometimes you don't realize there's a lot of hidden fees in these mortgages, and they can add up. And if all you're worried about is the monthly payment, you could be getting
really
all kinds
in
of
a lot
stuff.
of trouble,
tens of thousands of dollars in fees that can be hidden. So it's really important you deal with a reputable mortgage person and a really excellent professional real estate agent.
It's like Peyton Manning or any other successful quarterback for that wouldn't be anywhere without his defensive line, right? So it's
offensive line.
It's offensive.
Right.
So I'm not a football person, all right? I tried. I took a stab at it. I'm
not football tickets.
I'm not the sports analogy, but I do go to the football games occasionally. But so my point is your real estate agent is as good as their lender and vice versa. It's a team effort, and if you got both highly successful people on your team, you're always going to come out ahead.
Are you going to talk about the football tickets?
We've talked about so later on.
How can you win football tickets?
So we got 40-yard line, 13th row tickets to the New Year's Eve Buccaneers game.
Wow.
And we're going to be giving those out. You can register to win by going and liking our Facebook page, How to Beat the Banks on Facebook. Just go and like the page and you'll automatically be registered. And we're going to be doing the drawing in November. We'll be talking about it more and more each week, kind of building it up. But
what if we had them call in and they could register that way too?
They could always.
While we're on the air,
if you call in, you can definitely register. There's multiple ways. And then we'll also have the website up. And once one of us know how to work Instagram, we'll have that up too.
What's this Instagram? Is that like a TikTok?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
I have the tick, but not the talk.
Right. It's awful. How many platforms are there, right?
I'm still learning to use Facebook, much less Twitter or, any of those other things. And then they got other ones out. They got the LinkedIn. I got to keep up with that. It's like, where do you
Next door?
I don't like people next door. I want them to be way far down.
You ever notice a lot of people complain on Nextdoor?
They complain everywhere.
Just like a blog of open complainers. Hey, call us in if you want to enter to win.
941-745-1490.
Or go on the Facebook page, and we'll have the website launching next week. It'll be howtobeatthebanks.com. You'll be able to write a question in, ask anything you want on the air live. You'll also be able to register for the tickets on the website. Or there's multiple resources on there, like how to calculate your mortgage. There's a home buying toolkit that'll be on there. So anything. We'll also be posting our podcast here of the show live. You'll be able to get on there and listen to them at your leisure in case you can't be here at 10 a.m. On a Saturday.
What about special guests? Do you want to invite people to call you for that, or just?
Well, we have special guests coming up next week. We have Bradley Owens. He's a licensed local appraisal. He's been doing it for 25 years. He's going to be on here talking about where the market is right now with the current appraisal values and and what the appraisers look for when they're evaluating your home, because people are always kind of like a mystery. They're like, if I put the carpet in, will my value go up? Or there's a lot of little things that go into it for increasing the value of your home.
That's a great topic.
We also got Kelly from Remax Alliance Group. He's going to be on here for our first-time home buyer segment. Every Saturday, 10 a.m., we're going to have a different topic. We're going to dive in, and we're going to get the IT stuff working for you. Thank you so much for joining us this Saturday. It's How to Beat the Bank's first ever premiere episode. I'm Joe Miller, local mortgage expert. Hope you have a great rest of the weekend. And remember, on How to Beat the Banks, we always say, be the way.